Now we have to talk about the response from Donald Trump to the fourth indictment, again on charges relating to his attempts to overturn the 2020 election results, but now specifically in regard to those actions in the state of Georgia. And this has to do with the racketeering allegations and a very serious set of charges against Donald Trump that could spell disaster for him. And he feels it. He released a statement that I have here for you. Like Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, Trump says, deranged Jack Smith and New York Attorney General Letitia James, Fulton County, Georgia's radical Democrat District Attorney Fani Willis is a rabid partisan who is campaigning and fundraising on a platform prosecuting President Trump, not true, through these bogus indictments. Ripping a page from crooked Joe Biden's playbook, Willis has strategically stalled her investigation to try and maximally interfere with the 2020 presidential race and damage the dominant Trump campaign. So dominant, all of these corrupt Democrat attempts will fail. Combined with the intentionally slow-walked investigations by the Biden-Smith goon squads and the false charge in New York, the timing of this latest coordinated strike by a biased prosecutor in overwhelmingly Democrat, as they always say, jurisdiction, not only betrays the trust of the American people, but also exposes true motivation driving their fabricated accusations. He says that. Okay, then right here in this statement, go through and explain why what you're being accused of is invalid, the specifics of it, the evidence that is being brought forward. Explain how you didn't pressure election officials, how you didn't push for a fraudulent slate of electors, how you didn't try to get the vice president to go along with the coup. But he won't. It just has to be vague. Let's see here. They could have brought these 2.5 years ago. You did the thing 2.5 years ago, so how would they have it ready by then? Yet they chose to do this for election interference reasons in the middle of President Trump's successful campaign. He is not only leading all Republicans by a lot, but he is leading against Joe Biden in almost every poll. Not true. President Trump represents the greatest threat to these Democrats' political futures and the greatest hope for America. We're just going to keep going with this. Just picture the rage spewing out of Donald Trump as he has someone write this statement for him. The legal double standard set against, and we'll get to the actual statements from Trump on Truth Social that are more in his lingo, set against President Trump must end under the crooked Biden cartel. Okay. There are no rules for Democrats while Republicans face criminal charges for exercising their First Amendment rights. These activities, well, okay, again, before continuing, the way the universe works is not if a Republican is indicted, a Democrat has to be indicted. Follow the facts. If it just so happens we have a former president who's a Republican who committed crimes and not the same applied to a Democratic former president, then absolutely the law should be blind and just apply the law to whoever it needs to be, to everyone, I should say. So if you violated the law, you should be held accountable for that, no matter if you're Republican or Democrat. And we don't have to make it even by just randomly indicting someone on the other side if Trump is indicted. Let's see, where did I leave off? These activities by Democrat leaders constitute a grave threat to American democracy and are direct attempts to deprive the American people of their rightful choice to cast their vote for president. See, that's exactly what Trump is being accused of doing and what he was trying to do, which is to deprive, to disenfranchise voters from being able to exercise and then have it matter their right to vote. Because what Trump wanted to do is say, find me 11,780 votes, meaning give me fraudulently the amount of votes I need to win, which would be invalidating the actual vote of the people of Georgia. Thus, you would be disenfranchising and making meaningless the say of the actual citizens of Georgia. And you might say, well, that's because he thought he actually got that amount of votes. Time and time again, especially before this call and the other efforts as well, he was presented with enough evidence to know that wasn't the case, that he was lying about this for certain. Call it election interference or election manipulation. It is a dangerous effort by the ruling class to suppress the choice of the people, what he was trying to do. So much projection. It is un-American and wrong. They are taking away President Trump's First Amendment right to free speech and the right to challenge a rigged and stolen election. He had that right. He exercised it within the courts. He's not being indicted for any election case he brought. He failed time and time again, 60 plus times, and then was trying to potentially unlawfully get the same outcome. That Democrats do all the time. The ones who should be prosecuted are the ones who created the corruption. President Trump will never give up and will never stop fighting for you, as well as we all work to make America great again in 2024. You probably didn't want to hear all that, but that's what Trump has to say. Then he wrote on True Social as well, just the meltdown continues. He's panicking. I said in the last segment, Fani Willis is making multiple appearances in his nightmares. So the witch hunt continues. 19 people indicated, he says. 19 people indicated tonight, including the former president of the United States, me, by an out-of-control and very corrupt district attorney who campaigned and raised money on I will get Trump. Nope. And what about those indictment documents put out today long before the grand jury even voted and then quickly withdrawn? Sounds rigged to me. Why didn't they indict 2.5 years ago? Because it takes a second when you're outlining and depicting and then accusing in relation to a racketeering related conspiracy. That is very extensive. All the things listed in this indictment take a while to get evidence of, get proper witnesses, get proper facts to make sure that you have enough evidence to charge Trump. They would have lost their minds if somehow a case was ready right after Trump did the thing, because obviously then it wouldn't be that legitimate because they wouldn't have the proper evidence yet based on an extensive, thorough, legitimate investigation. Because they wanted to do it right, Trump continues, in the middle of my political campaign witch hunt. Then he said, this is wild, okay? This is really ridiculous. A large, complex, detailed, but irrefutable report on the presidential election fraud which took place in Georgia is almost complete. Okay. We've been waiting for how long now? For the proof that the election was stolen? Now they have it. Now Trump is going to present it. It's almost complete and will be presented by me at a major news press conference at 11 a.m. on Monday of next week in Bedminster, New Jersey. Based on the results of this conclusive report, all charges should be dropped against me and others. I have to say, this may be one of the most unhinged and humiliating things Trump has ever said. Because he is now, you get the point of that statement, but he is now, after being indicted federally and in Fulton County for trying to overthrow a free and fair election based on his election lies, is now saying my response to that will be to tell those election lies more. Now, he's not being indicted for his election lies, but the actions he took and the conspiracy he engaged in based on the election lies. But he's now going to go and tell those very lies publicly at a press conference and continue to do everything possible to degrade and deteriorate our democracy. Last one, witch hunt, he says in all caps. That is a very unwell human being. I don't think there's any question about that. And he knows that he is in a lot of danger. And my energy is not because, hooray, someone that I didn't like politically is being put in the situation. It's, yay, our system's working way more than I thought that it would. Our system of accountability, our system of justice is operating way better than I expected it to because of the history, the track record we have with powerful people getting away with dangerous acts. But here, it was so blatant, it was so anti-democratic and so unlawful potentially, allegedly, that on multiple levels, across multiple investigations, multiple prosecutors, Trump is, at least people are trying to hold him accountable for those actions. And that gives me a lot of hope. Make sure you are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are able to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, plus get the bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. And there's a link in the description.